Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you are doing fine. So, like I promised, I want us to have something we can refer to very quickly when we are grading and we need some clarification. I think for some of us, we may be doing okay, but it doesn't hurt to have a reference point all the time. It might also help improve our our posturing when we are grading. So, I'm currently sharing. Uh, the College of Health Science site. And please, because these are people's, feedbacks and their personal stuff, we are treating it as we should. Faculty, of course, junior faculty, but your position is not national service. You are teaching assistant or faculty, senior members on the team, depending on your status as you hear me. So please let's have that posture when we are handling stuff on their results and on their personal data and what have you. That's why I feel free to share it. But so we keep it within our circle. That's all I mean. And so if you were going to grade on Sakai for test and quizzes, I wanted to start with assignment, but I think we can do test and quizzes at your tools on your left. So for those who are new, relatively new on the team, you have engaged it, but you may have faltered a bit, wasted some time. I suppose that this one may help you. This is CGRC 150. This is College of Health Science. This is City Campus because of the 4. This is main campus because of the 1. If we do D, to be 30. I'm sure by now you know. And currently, because they are working, I have blocked some of the tools from visibility, but these should serve our purposes. So you go to your test and quizzes. Everyone will grade this time, so I want everyone to look at it closely. You go to your test and quizzes and find the interim assessment, which is what we'll focus on now. This is it, interim assessment. And then you select the submitted under submitted. So that is where you grade when you're doing test and quiz. If you click on this, it will open. Now, this is not a very big number, so it opens very quickly. If we're dealing with the 4,000s and the 5,000, sometimes stressful. So the advice, I think the advice I use Mozilla Firefox. I don't use that, but I still work fine. I don't know about you. You can try that if you're having too many delays when you click. Okay. Now it takes us to the assessment. Please don't go and do any quick fix here and put a mark here and apply to all. No. We've had that issue in the past. It made us redo everything that we had done. And we are even lucky we saw it, because if we didn't, then you would be grading people for marks, giving marks that they don't deserve, or taking from people what they deserve. Don't quick fixes, please. Okay, let's have a posture that understands that in the past, I think in the past, interim assessment and all the others were MCQs. Some were even done off-site because of the exigencies of the time. It was around COVID. And so as much as 50% of the students earned marks in the course was done off-site without supervision. No one saw who did what. And yet they came with grades. Sometimes we know the scandals that brought us, and we don't want to revisit that. Unintended, but that is what it created, because the university's posture itself then wasn't clear and life had to go on. So we were treading cautiously. Now we assess them on site under supervision. It is only the essay type, the ones that we do at assignment, that you are grading now. Most of you are done. And because of 1 or 2 hiccups, the others are still on it. So when you come to test and quizzes here, this one, we are able to, I think to a large extent, of course, it's not immune to copying, but it is not like if people are at home and you don't know whether it is their senior brother or their lecturer friend like myself that is doing the work for them. That wasn't fair. Okay. So we still need some essay type. We still need some short answer type questions and then MCQs. But MCQs are fine if they are supervised to a large extent. So for interim assessment and final exam, like you know already, there's a 30%, and then the final exam 50%. Those are total of 80%. They are monitored. The first 20% is what we do at assignment 2, the essays. So now when you come to the test and quizzes like this, select the question. This one. If you click on questions, it will take you to the specific question you have been assigned to grade. That's all. For that part, other parts are not your business. If you do that, then we can make some good progress. So you are assigned, let's say, part 2 questions, 20 to 24. You go to your part 2 here. Don't go to part 3. Otherwise, these people will lose out. Those who's on at part 2. Of course, we do a mop-up all the time. Mop-up help now we see that some grading that had been done there was haphazardly done. I mean, Derek will point out something else. Isel will point. I mean, everybody almost always does that. Lucy is very keen on, look, I'm done, but I want to review my grading. So give me some few days, let me go through. It's so important so that we finish and we don't have a whole, block of students not graded, because either the person was picking and choosing, like, oh, this question is easier to mark, I'll mark that one first. No. Go systematically. Let the process work. No shortcut. All right. So suppose I was giving part 2 question 20 to 25 to grade. I'll just take 20. I click on it for part 2 for interim assessment. Then it opens that way. I get all the people that have been assigned that question. See, it's for 5 marks. My instruction to the team, which I want us to keep, because it helps me answer certain queries that come that I don't have to come and tell you, is that if the mark is over 5, the person attempts. Attempting means it's not everybody that can type. So if they make an effort to put something in there, give at least 2 marks for the attempt. If the answer is correct, then add 3. It's very important to me. So we will review, we will look at our grading. I often give the review work to those that I think have a bit more diligent hands from what we have done so far. I watch. I don't complain. I watch. I like to watch people. So you see that I'll tell you, please, can you review this for me? Can you check this for me? Sometimes you are the third person reviewing that grading. Okay. Then I ask some other people to do for the others. That way we are able to check ourselves, peer reviewing before any other person comes. So there shouldn't be any way that someone scores a 0. No. But maybe it wasn't clear then. So when we are mopping up, we'll treat those. The person attempted it. Maybe the person got confused and thought of 2 lengths as ponents. It doesn't mean the person doesn't know 2 lengths. He doesn't know ponent. He doesn't know anything. No. So a straight 0 is not too helpful to students. And the logic behind it is because the university says 0 to 44 is an F. Think about it very well. It means if someone got 44 marks, someone got 0. In the university's mind, they had this. That's a big margin. So the little effort here and there doesn't change the university's grading, sir. If you don't have that in mind, the scale of grading, you may end up giving more than 70% of your students in that department a B or B cry. Sometimes some courses you go is F, 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 D plus. You don't understand the way the university wants you to grade them. Grading means how you group them. If you go to Webster campus, where I do some part-time, I've not gone there for a while now because of work schedule. Even a 77 is a very bad pass. 77. You can check their grading scale. 77 over 100 is a very bad pass. So it tells you that you cannot go there with your University of Ghana grading scale in mind. In the same way, the other universities, a fail is maybe 30 and below. So you have to understand how the university wants you to grade. Grading is not examining and it's not marking. Grading is you group them. To help us when we start grading, that is how I want us to mark. It helps us sip it out very well and get. Okay, after all, you don't determine which question goes to which person. The system chooses that. So what if someone got relatively accessible questions that are accessible to them? You don't leave it to chance. Maybe I studied only 2 topics mainly, and then my questions that mainly came from there. I have had an undue advantage. So you have to grade in a way that tries to make up. That's why I said if there is an attempt, please give a 2. Don't give below that. Unless the attempt was like there, the person would deny that mark, question mark, something, or something totally irrelevant to what was it. And that one we don't want to give any. Even that we can say 1. For the person to know that we saw this, quote and unquote nonsense you put there, but we are at least acknowledging that we saw you made an effort at putting nonsense, 1 mark. Then the 0 will be for the person that did nothing there. So it's clear that you got 0 means you put nothing there. All right. So I'm saying that when you get to that question, dear friends who haven't even started reading at all, this is for you, so you know what to do. You put the mark there. So you read this. If the answer is correct, per the scheme that we agree on, you will create your scheme, and I'll look at it and sanction it. We'll discuss. If it's a bit tricky, we can bring your other colleagues in, like I did with the Prince one, and so others can hear. What do you think? Then we have a view that we think works fine. Then we use that. So you check it. If it is answering, you put the mark there. So let's say this person got 4, for example. This answer is not 4. This is a 0 that we will grade as 1.5 or 2. But suppose the mark was 4. You put it there. You go down, do for that the others. For this site, only 2 people got this question. But it's not a big site. But 4,500 and something, you will meet plenty people. You have to go through to the end. Maybe something 100 or 190 something. If you are not sure of your network, or you just want to play safe, when you do maybe 30 or something, save it. Make a note of the name you go to. Maybe I go to Dankwa Benjamin Asari. Save it. When you save it, we will go back to your question 20, find Dankwa and continue. That way, you save in bits. Because if you want to finish, let's say 200, and you don't have a strong network, or the lights go off, or your phone's data decides to get finished at data, or something like that, then all the work you've done is cost 90. You will have to start again. So you do that, and then you save. Saving is here. So then you go to the next question. How do you find the question that you are going to read next? See, the questions are opened. How do you know? See, the bar here, the blue bar here is on questions. It means it has opened the questions that were there. It's in fact on part 2 now. So if you go to your part 2, which is this part 2, then you can find your 21 and grade those 2. Then you go to question 22, grade those question 23. 24 up to maybe 25. If those were the range that you were given, you are done. Within 3 hours, you should be done. And just always, hey, dog, 3 hours. Work hard. Okay, that is why they are giving us plenty T.As. Because if not, we should be just about 6 every lecture in 1 T. Yes, so if we don't show, quote unquote, why we are there, our relevance, before long, there won't be rationale. You are there to do assessment, 1 grading the ISIS, assessment 2 grading. You are there to offer tutorials, two slots per person per week, per group. So if you're handling 2 groups, you do about 4 tutorials in a week. I told department prior that I'm not sure you can assist with anything philosophy. And it's not intentional, it's because of the kind of work you do. Grading assessment 1 alone takes weeks. Then you go to assessment 2. Go to ISIS, takes another week or 2. Then you go to interim assessment. You see that before you do your final exam, the short component part, all of them supervised. And so it's so much work. But someone say, but why don't we just do multiple choice questions? Really? Offsite? And students are also do MCQs throughout. What if we are supposed to answer? We answer to the pedagogy, the content delivery, in the name of critical thinking. I think critical thinking, all we are doing are giving objective. People are sitting at home as a University of Ghana required course to do it. No, you see that. So we have some essays, we have some short answers, we have some MCQs. And I believe the university sees what we are doing. I just received the letter renewing the appointment to 2025. Okay, I pray that they bring me plenty cash. The cash they brought and also, but I can get coins for you. Add some small component for entertainment. It's not big, it's not the one that you can share, but I can give you a pure water. Anyway, so just to tell us that the team is working fine. I suspect that they might be restructuring and what have you. Even the title now is not a sub coordinator any longer. This when I did acceptance letter, I saw it. They are rebranding or regrouping something. I mean, the UGRCs in a certain way. They are all units on their own. It may come with some requirement to perhaps suggest if we can have faculty that are merely appointed for this. So I'm just saying this so that you have a posture of a lecturer. Even if you haven't been called that yet, you should have that because it is possible that that is how the university may go. And then you handle a full group and you handle their grading and the assessment, of course, in tandem with ourselves, like my colleagues and I are doing now, so that workload may get off faculty of philosophy and then to become like a language center, so it's critical thinking center, something like that. Your posture has to be right. If you are with us, some I know are already also going out to improve themselves, but it will always be there for us to look at. Okay, and so I was saying that you do the same for testing 21, 22, and like that. So these ones go very fast. Within 1 week, I'll see you. 1 week crowd for both IE and exam. If everybody works, tell Selma for me that no weddings this weekend. Selma, don't mind me. It's you I can tease. Okay, now we can go to the assignment. So that was for testing. We do that for IE, then we move to final exam. How about the assignment grading? Now end with that. We are done with that. I put a lot of work on people. Others didn't have so much work on the assignment because they are going to bear a lot of load for the final exam on the test and quizzes. Okay, so don't celebrate too much. There's a reason why it looked like you had finished. Of course, some work very hard and fast. So and yet to say everyone who has finished didn't have so much work to do. Now these are the assignments for the future because for now I think we are mostly done. When you go to the assignment, this is what you will see. Lady Beatrice and Kelvin. This is what you will see. Now it shows you, it displays a certain number of people. You select that, but I think the default is the first 200 is what displays at the right here because the people on the site are only 130 for College of Health Science. They're not many. But you could have 4,000 something, 5,000 something for main campus. It means it will show you the first 200, the next 200. If you want to reduce the number that is displaying at a time, some people don't like too much work at once. It overwhelms them, but they want it in chunks. Maybe the first 50, the next 50. So every 10 minutes, they want to work on 50 people, then they move that way. You can reduce it. You select here and say display 50 items at a time. Let me see that it's doable. Then you do that. But the default is the first to the 200. It can be more than that. Now, you should pick, and I want to emphasize something here. You should pick so suppose I gave you a percentage. I say all those who are 75% and above, which is the red flag folks, grade them 0. Suppose that's what I gave you. Then on this page here, we are downgraded. So you see the marks, the graded marks there. But if you are now going to grade, you will not see 8, 4, 9. These ones will not be there. You will only see it as it is with the percentage under the ternary there. Okay. So you are, let's say I'm Douglas, I've been given 75% and above to grade. That is heavily plagiarized content. So I will go to the first page like this displayed there and find anything 75% and above. So if I have not found it there, you go, this is the first one. It's 91% copied. Red flag. Then I write the name down. Just write the Edumwa note. That's all. Because we don't have any Edumwa under it. We don't have any Edumwa before it. So it tells you that if you search with Edumwa, this is the only Edumwa you get. It's arranged already. So just write the Edumwa and you are done. You can search with that on your sheet of paper. That's where the work is. But I've told you what the history is. We won't do objectives offsite, no. Even essays, we can't tell who did it, but at least it is different from you showing 10 questions on a screen. 300 people sit at one place and they project on the big screen, and they are all answering the question with the person assigned. How? It's embarrassing to our university. See that. So let it be essays. Obe discuss kakra so atwe. One discuss ko na bi na atwe man na. Enye ebufu to say ABCD. Like that. Offside is the issue. Okay. So we pull this person's name and write down. Then we keep going. We are looking for 75% in that. We don't have any yet. That's the next one. Amuzua. So I write that. I write only Amuzua because it's not Mensa where there would have been 30 Mensas. They have to find which Mensa specific. Use the Amuzua. Don't use the Dixon. Because if the system is picking this as the same. So that is what comes before the other. Okay, there might be a Dixon up there when we go to the D column. Amuzua is the person's name. It makes your search easy when I go there. So 96%, then we find another one, 93% with the alcohol, and so on to the end. So you pick them all as they present themselves and write them down for this page. I could do that for the next, I do that for the first 200, then I move to the next 200, and the third, maybe 2000. Then I stop writing and come and start entering the mark for the first 1,000. You see, if you don't do that way, you open one, you go and grade and come back. If I give you 3 months, you will not be done. You waste data, times, you'll be stressed. The thing will put you off. Do what I'm saying. The real work is in picking the names and putting them down. And if you do it as I've done, you are on this first 200 till you pick all of them. If it even took you 30 minutes to pick all those who have that range, you'll be done with this page and move to the next. And we don't start entering yet. Move to the next and get them. When you finish, then you are, no, of course, finish for all of them is the best. But sometimes you feel that we have not progressed. So if I've done for the first 1,000, let me put in their marks and then I'll do the next 1,000 and put in and do the next 1,000. It will be then. Now I come and pick the first person. You could pick from middle or in any number, excuse me, any ID, any name. I may even pick this person. Just to take me to the grading pane, which is what you see now. Okay. I hope that people can see that. Now, the name we put there first was Edumwa. So I come into the look here very well. It has a lot of sense, but I don't want to show you or I don't want you to worry yourself about. Look at this. This one gives you a list. That's the name pane. So if you click inside the box, they see the drop down displays all the people inside. But I'm looking for Edumwa, so I don't want to now scroll and look for Edumwa. It can be so time wasting. My screen is even soft touch on the screen, so perhaps it gives me some advantage. I can imagine if you are using the mouse to find, it can be so stressful. So just click inside the box like this and type on your thing, Edu. See that I have Edu, I'm looking for Edumwa. There it is. If I'm able to type very fast and type ADUM, Edumwa like this, it takes me straight to the brother, Edumwa noted. And we can see the zero sitting nicely for him, but because this has been graded. But I would have come without anything. Then you put the zero inside. You see that here, the page doesn't show you that it's copied. That's the thing. So you have to pull it from the other side. We hope that in subsequent versions, Sakai will have a better way so that we can see the red flag here. Nanka, we don't need to do all that extra work. Okay. So you do for Edumwa, put it zero. When you finish, the next person's name on your list that you have pulled out is maybe Daniel or something. You just type D and Daniel. They take you to Daniel. Select them and put the mark there. When you put the mark, please remember to save this one, the blue one. Hey, don't save and release. If you save and release, it will go to the student. When we finish and we edit or we correct or improve or bring down, the exam celebrate. Hey, doc is my friend. Maybe I'll 3 marks. Really, that kind of thing. They don't know that it is their own marks. It just turned out that something had to be corrected. So just save it. All right. Then what was the other thing? Don't put comment unless I told you to, please. Because I'm accountable for what is put there. I mean, in the past, sometimes you see BL. And then I don't understand what it is. So then the student sends me a message, oh, please, because you're doing it for the examiner. The examiner is accountable, not even the team of lecturers. It's the examiner of the course that accounts, not the head of the department. I can show you my appointment letters inside. So accountability is on the person. They've just given you a team to work with. but the team is not accountable for which grade who got and how somebody's exam was graded or not. Is the examiner, because I will be called to account for it. Coordinator Krandanche. Okay, that is the way it is. So help me so that I'm able to be accountable when it happens. Okay, so no comment, unless of course you have discussed. Sometimes we can agree that the 1 mark you can say, "Doc, please, because of this and this, let's put it. If it is plagiarized content, let it be there. You put a 0. I put a general notice to the student because 0, either you didn't submit or you plagiarized for DE last semester, or you repeated a makeup. The assessment was meant to be a makeup for those who didn't do it. Then you went to do it with them. We scored you 0 for that. Stuff like that. So there's a clear communication that cuts across, and then we are safe. All right. So please, you find the next person here. So you see that we haven't moved out of this place, so it's easier. Some may also want to use the arrow, but it can take a while to find. Like if you are moving from D to M, I mean, it will take you so long a time to go E, depending on which side you're on, to navigate before you get to M. So just search with this. Search with by highlighting the box. If you highlight the first time, see that it opens, the drop button opens. If you do it this way, it's still like that. Either way, then you type the name. Which name should you type? The surname we picked. How should you pick the surname? Make sure it is not a repeated surname. Otherwise, you'll be giving some Mensa. Suppose there's Mensa here. There might be other Mensas, which is often the case. Mensa is a common name. Okay. So you may have 4 or 5 Mensas or Jemvis. But if you pick as it's presented in the submission, the system is already telling you that this is the only Mensa here, or there are 3 Jemvis. So which Jemfi are you writing the amount down? Okay. Then when you finish, you return to the lists and go and check. This thing is here. This is for those who are well advanced, maybe for my first team, Bernice, Lucy, Naomi, Johnson, I don't know, hope I know, Selma, the first team, me. If you click on this, I'm saying so because perhaps they are a bit more conversant with what I've said. So this would be an addition if they didn't know already. This thing that looks like some jiggy jiggy, when you click on it, it helps you navigate. So you navigate between students with submissions only. This one, if you click on this, it will show those whose submissions have not been graded. So for instance, if I select this, you see, I'm asking the system to show me only show ungraded. So it's a bit tricky. So I don't want to even tell everyone, or there's no need to go use it. But there it is. It's only one person whose thing has not been graded. You see that? How do we know that it's blank? Stevens. If we want to check, we can go and see. I go to Stevens. I'm returning to the list where you see the plagiarism and all. We are done, almost done. And look for Stevens and see what is happening there. If I want to find Stevens, I can search for Stevens page. Okay, there it is. So you see, it's true. We didn't get Stevens Benesado. Check. See. And she has no submission, so you should be graded. This one is for those who were getting no submission. No glass. Okay. There you put the 0 there. They have to see that we have graded it. And then we save it. I suspect that now if we ask to see those with no submissions, we won't see any. Only show ungraded submission that there is none. 0. Okay. Sometimes you can navigate between students with submissions only, so that you check those that have some submission there. And so that is there are 128. Then you go through them one after the other to check if everyone has been graded. It's still a big number. You can't do this for the main campuses, 5,000 before it moves, but at least we can check for these. You see what I'm doing. So sometimes with this, I'm able to, when I'm mopping up, I'm able to check. And now, I don't know, one paragraph, something like that. I say, no, how can someone get 10 over 10? Let me go and see what was there. How impressive was it? And I 10. This one is 0. This printing is 0, something like that. You see them, go and check. Oh, it was plagiarized and stuff like that. So you can use that. Then the very last one, I think, what was the other thing? I've talked about the arrows. I've talked about returning. The last one is the review, in which I said some of you are already keen on that. When you finish and you come back, let's clear search. We're still on step and see what is there. Anyway, then we come and check. So we don't say the person thing was blue. I'm tempted to look at this gentleman who has been given 10 because of it. I suspect it's because of the blue flag. Let's go and check. But it can be blue and then the substance there is not even it can't take. Yeah, you'll be shocked. Sometimes it's there, it's blue. The person's thing there is a quotation from beginning to end. Sometimes sociology or philosophy. The person didn't know what to do, so he copied some old assignment and put it. The person gets 8/10 for that. He will tell his friends, oh, the thing they don't mark it. As I look for something and put there. Yes. So we have to know. I think that this person's one is fine. I see the discussion is on value judgment. Stuff like maybe 10 there. Okay. I don't know what the marking scheme was, but it's okay. I will play safe all the time and do 9 rather if I were there. But maybe I give different instructions. So I thought that we should use this to augment what we know already in the course in how we are grading. Please send me questions if you have them. I've asked you some few questions on the WhatsApp platform. Please respond so that I can give responsibilities. In due course, maybe when we are finally done with the mock-up for the final exam, there were last minute changes of venue because of electrical faults and what have you. So we still have, I've checked on this, I still see about 5049 or so people who took an IE, for main campus especially. But in other words, the number for those who took the IE has dropped by 40 something people when we check it with the exam. I want to believe that if we give the opportunity, we'll close that gap. The other campuses have rather increased, so less people took the IE than the exam. But for main campus, those who took the IE are more than those who have taken the exam by some 50. And it was the main campus cluster that had a change for the BAM library 2 rooms there because of the electrical fault. And the change was on Monday evening when they were writing on Tuesday. It's possible that people have missed it and they feel that there's nothing they can do. So I've pleaded, I've actually requested. It wasn't too easy, but the folks are very, very committed to helping us. So they will write tomorrow, Saturday. Please tell your platforms. Because people don't read announcement. T.As, they don't read. They're always depending on someone, so that the few people left, if it's about 40 or 50 people, I hope that they are all not health-related matters or funerals or travel. I think that some thought and clashes. Some are very naive, so they think if it's clashed, and then you say, if you go and do it as clash, I have to go. They don't know that a clash means you go there, but it was clearly put in the announcement to help them. When they finish tomorrow, Saturday, the 29th of July, 2023, we are ready to start our grading. Let me know if you come to campus. I will assign the responsibilities that week. And then those who work on site, I'll assign. Then we give ourselves a week. And then we should be done to release all results to students. Thank you for all that you do already. All the best and take care.